Many thanks for staying with us. Now, the resumption of oil exploration in Ogoniland is a highly contentious issue. While some Ogoni people are optimistic about the potential benefits of oil exploration, others are strongly opposed to it due to concerns about environmental degradation, health risk, and also human rights violation. The movement for the survival of the Ogoni people, MOSOB, has also opposed the establishment of an agency to oversee Ogoni development, which is seen as a positive step towards ensuring that the Ogoni people benefit directly from their oil wealth. However, concerns remain about the impact of oil exploration on the environment and public health. The UNEP report on Ogoniland highlighted the devastating effects of oil pollution on the environment and human health, and the Nigerian government's efforts to clean up the pollution have been criticized for being inadequate. This follows President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's recent meeting with Ogoni leaders, including Governor Simfo Bara of Rivers State and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, at the Aso Villa in Abuja. The meeting, which was held behind closed doors, aimed to address the lingering issues in Ogoniland, including the resumption of oil operations. Well, joining me on the show this evening to discuss this is Engineer Legborsi Yamaabana, is the President General of Ogoni Youth Federation. Thank you for your time, Legborsi.
Thank you.
All right. It's great to have you, on the program again. Now, let me ask you, I mean, you are the President General of the Ogoni Youth Federation. There was a meeting with the president and some key stakeholders, in Ogoniland, and some, will I call it, decisions were reached. Part of it includes the return of oil exploration and operation in that region. My first question to you is this: what do you make of that meeting and the idea of resuming oil operations in Ogoniland, given the history of such?
Oh, thank you very much. I want to say that the Ogoni people, as it were, generally, we are not opposed to exploration of oil and gas in Ogoniland. Remember, it's over 3 decades since our wells were shut in. And our people continue to suffer. As the president of Ogoni Youth, I have witnessed Ogoni Youth graduating from the university with flying colors, but end up on the streets of either Bori or Mogo or Nonwa driving Okada just to make a living. And this is happening in the midst of stupendous wealth. You will agree with me that the black gold, which is oil, is the mainstay of the Nigeria economy. And we have it in abundance in Ogoni. In fact, our crude is one of the sweetest crude, with almost 0% sulfur content. Remember, I am a petroleum engineer by profession, and I understand the characteristics of our oil. And having said that, it would be inhuman, it would be callous for us to continue to sit down and fold our arms while our people continue to suffer in the midst of this whole wealth that are natural resources that God has bestowed on us and in our land. And I want to further say that we commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and of course the governor of Rivers State, Sasinelaye Fubara, for mustering the political will and courage to initiate discussions around negotiation for a possible resumption of that oil and gas that we are talking about. This, when it happened, we scored the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and of course the governor of Rivers State, the current governor, very high, because successive administration has made attempts, but none succeeded. We are not
I think we have a bit of connectivity issues trying to connect. Okay, I think we have him back. We lost you for a moment. You are trying to actually establish the fact that as the representative for the youth, what I call it, faction of the,
I was saying that
okay.
we commend the president, we commend the governor, we commend the Ogoni leaders that attended that meeting. In fact, that is the position of Ogoni youths and the Ogoni people. We want the oil to flow so that our lots can be changed. The economic reality in Ogoni can turn around because we are into serious
but not all civil society groups are on the same page when it comes to oil operations resuming in Ogoniland. I mean, some of them are expressing deep concerns as regards environmental degradation, health risk, amongst a plethora of issues, which for many over the years will tell you are pretty much valid. And you are saying that you are welcome to oil exploration there. I mean, isn't that being a bit insensitive to the environment and the health of people there?
Yeah, before I come to that, like I was saying, whilst we commend the leaders for that visit, we want to state it very unequivocally that a critical component of Ogoni nation, which is the youths and of course the women, were not seen in that meeting. I'm the president of Ogoni Youths. And this whole discussion about oil resuming in Ogoniland falls so much within the purview of these young people, because the young people are the future. You see, my brother, we cannot continue to do the same thing in the same way and expect a different result. It is not done anywhere that youths will be neglected, and they are not part of what concerns them. They are not on the discussion table. It doesn't make any sense, and that is what we are saying should be corrected. And in the coming days, we'll be reaching out to Mr. President, the National Security Advisor, and other stakeholders to see that that abnormally is being corrected. The youth and women are very, very important in this discussion, and you cannot divorce them from it. For instance, in that meeting here, I know how many calls I have received. I know how many agitations that have come up, that have risen, rather. But I try to tell the youth that they should keep calm because we are on top of the situation. And so we want to advise the government, and including our leaders, that in course of subsequent engagements, the youth demography should be considered.
So what you're saying is that as much as just to get your point,
consequent to that,
okay,
we have already caused a pan and extraordinary Ogoni Youth Stakeholders meeting to be convoked in the coming days, where our position will also be made known to the government. Because like I told you, the youths are not just lazy youths in Ogoni. Like I said, we are professionals, and our views must be sorted because it concerns us.
All right, I was about asking you that, I mean, you said that the youth population was not represented in that meeting with the president, and also women, and you've expressed, on behalf of the youth, you've expressed strong dismay at that. But I would also want to ask you, I mean, if you had a youth representative there, what would have been your demand?
Our demands are well, articulated. And so, if I want to give you a preview of our very simple, in 1958, when Share first came into Ogoniland for the business of oil exploration, we never had so much consciousness as it is now. And when our leader, Ken Sariwa, and our martyrs, in blessed memory, rose up to say, look, the reckless nature of the way oil was being exploited is not done. They were killed. They were massacred in cold blood. All of this was as a result of non-availability of adequate human resources. But now we have it in abundance. I can tell you that Ogoni today parades an array of experts in oil and gas exploration, oil and gas industry, and we know the nitty-gritty of it, and we must go on the discussion table, on the boardroom table, to push home and press home our demand for adequate community sharing benefits. And we are saying, as part of our demand as the youth, that any company that must come for that business of oil exploration must be a company not like what happened during the era of share, but a company with effective host community relations, a company with sound environmental practice, so that we don't return back to environmental degradation, as it were, a company that has the technical capacity. And that company must sit down with Ogoni people, with Ogoni youth, to chart the way forward. Because we are all involved in this, and we want peace. These are some of the panacea that will give way for a smooth re-entry into the land for the purposes of oil exploration. Anything other than this will be, putting a bandage on an untreated wound. And I can tell you that. And we are ready as youth. Our platform is available. So for the youth, for some of these old things I have mentioned, there's a lot. But I don't want to preempt the meeting that we have already summoned and convoked.
Okay.
After the Pan-Ogoni and extraordinary Ogoni Youth Stakeholders meeting, our position will come out very strong. And that will be communicated to the public. And your studio, your reputable media outfits is also invited.
All right. I mean, News Central definitely would love to be a part of it. But just before I let you go, still talking about the position of the youth in Ogoniland, you did say in the course of your analysis that there are quite a number of bright minds who are unemployed or underemployed. You said you find quite a number of them in 2 locations, which you did mention in the course of your analysis. I didn't hear you talk about creating jobs as part of your demand, or benefits of some sort. So, I mean, is that not a necessity?
Of course, when this exploration activity will commence, majority of the workforce is going to be young people. Majority of the workforce. Yes, you will have some elderly and all of that at the managerial level, but young people will be on the field the most. So it's about discussion without the young people, because it is what directly affects them. And so the issue of creation of job is critical. That is why I talked about community sharing benefits. And this time around, we are not looking at job as, oil servicing laborers, as it were, alone. We are going to bargain to be at the top management, and that is irrevocable for us.
Okay.
Because any skill we have in Ogoni, you cannot take it from our side. We must have the right of first refusal in the land, because we have been the one that have suffered the brunt of this whole degradation, the whole years of marginalization of our people by SPDC and its JV partners, and all of this whole environmental pollution that we have faced. It is Ogoni that have been suffering from cancer, from liver problem, from all sorts of diseases that is associated with this oil pollution that is ravaging that has ravaged Ogoniland. So we cannot do it without the youth. And we want to advise very strongly. The National Security Advisor is a friend of the Ogoni people. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has also shown very strongly that he is a pan-Ogoni man, and we must give it to him.
All right.
And we're just here to
Legborsi, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we really are trying to manage time here. I would like to bring in someone into the conversation. Dighi Mathew is the National President of Indigenous Youth Council of Ogoni people. He joins virtually also. Mathew, thank you for your time. Just like Legborsi has said, you also represent a youth population, in Ogoniland. My question to you is this. What do you make of the meeting with Mr. President and some of the decisions that, came out of it? Part of it has to do with the resumption of oil operation. As a youth leader yourself, are you comfortable?
Thank you very much again. I really appreciate this, but let me quickly go straight to the point of what I have in my own little view. What is happening right now is not the first time that the federal government is coming to this situation right now. Past president of this Federal Republic of Nigeria have also participated. But they should also come up with genuine interests of the people because they have paid so much price for their self-determination. And then the outcome of that meeting in Abuja is a good development, but we are not satisfied because it was like taking us unaware. And I really want people to understand this, that the Ogoni people should not be taken for granted. It's unacceptable, you know. Last time, the other president, former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammad Buhari, came up with a speech that shares should go out from Ogoni and NNPC should take over the Ogoni. It's absolutely unacceptable. And I'm appealing to them that at this stage of Ogoni, we have gone through pain and agonies in that land. Then they should not take us for granted. Nothing has been done in that land. And you wanted to come say you want to collect oil. How does it work? We are not going against oil production in Ogoniland. Absolutely, we are not going against it. But the truth must be done. Due process must be followed. That's what we are asking for.
So what do you consider, what do you consider due process?
Due process is a situation that there's a bill of rights that was presented to the federal government and the people of Nigeria about 30-something years ago as a demand of the Ogoni people before the oil will be resolved. That was a purpose why that oil was shut down in Ogoni. From 1958, when oil was discovered in Ogoniland, there was a lot of things that were going wrong in that land that determined the self-determination in 1993, which is indigenous rights. To fair proportion of their resources should be controlled by the Ogoni people and for the Ogoni people and for the Ogoni people. I am asking the Mr. President, is there any time there was a meeting with the Ogoni community in respect of what we have gone through in Ogoniland? You see, my point here as a youth leader, there should not cause another ecological war in that land again. I'm pleading with Mr. President and the members of his executive who have contributed tirelessly to make this thing work. But the due process I'm saying right now, there is a Bill of Rights called Ogoni Bill of Rights, should be followed up.
So you are saying that the Bill of Rights should be revisited and followed up. Is that what you're saying? And that for you constitutes due process?
That was the demand of the Ogoni people. That was the contents of what the Ogoni people really want. After many years of political marginalization, economic degradation, all those things have gone through. If you carefully go to the Bill of Rights, it's stated about water, light, there is all those kinds of things involved. But I'm pleading, 30 years now we lost a writer on this purpose. What have they done to these people? You are just coming up and saying that you just call for oil resolution. I said, that's not an It's painful. It's unavoidable. Is it because we demand we demand this thing in a non-violent manner? Is that they want to take us for granted? I don't really understand this. Naturally, I'm not going against this. I've already been in this station one time again on his speech in 29 years anniversary of Kenya. But if we wanted to do a genuine missionary journey, let me use the English like that. In my way of understanding, I can assist them to do this thing right.
All right. Let me leave you for a moment. Let me leave you for a moment, Mathew. Let me come back to Legborsi. Legborsi, Mathew made reference to a Bill of Rights, saying that largely constitutes due process. What do you make of that?
My brother Mathew, I heard him very clearly. You see, I do not want us to go back so much to antiquity. I don't want that. Because the Bill of Rights that was handed over to the federal government, to me, as an Ogoni youth, I'm speaking as Legborsi Yamaabana, there are some items in that Bill of Rights that is not implementable as we speak. So, and that is why I have pleaded that we should wait at the end of the extraordinary Ogoni Youth Stakeholders meeting, when we will come out with a communique and our position will be made known. But this will be done in conjunction with Ogoni leaders. And so, if I want to give you some clue, I would say, President Tinubu, please create an Ogoni state as a prerequisite of tapping the oil, because Ogoni is bigger than Bayelsa. So,
sorry, I didn't get that correctly. You are asking that they should create or carve out an Ogoni state.
I'm just giving you. I'm giving you an insight to some of the things that may be on the mind of Ogoni youth from my random interactions with them. So, Ogoni state can be created, or Bori state can be created from the present river states. I am telling you that both population, geographical spread, and everything, Ogoni is bigger than Bayelsa states. We can also say, which we have been saying, and which the president has agreed to do, that President, please exonerate Ken Saro-Wiwa and the Ogoni 9 and the other 4. Exonerate them from the criminal book that you have kept their names and bestow the posthumous national honor on them, just like it was done on Kengebe, Abiola, and co. We will also not be wrong if we are demanding that the entire Ogoniland should be electrified. You know, these are what brings about economic activities. We want the economic of the place to boom. But we may not go back to some other demands that may take us decades to implement. We want a quick fix, but the quick fix must be done holistically.
All right. I mean, just for the benefit of our viewers at home, now the Ogoni Bill of Rights is a document that, outlines the rights and demands of the Ogoni people, part of which, of course, includes self-determination, environmental protection, control over natural resources, cultural preservation, social and economic development, justice, and compensation, amongst a list of other demands. Just quickly, before I let you go, Legborsi, what would be your final remark on this matter? Hopefully, by the time we'll have you again, you would have had that youth extraordinary meeting, and then we'll get a feedback. But before I let you go, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts and final remarks is that Ogoni youths, which I have also told them physically, should remain calm. There is no need for any agitation. We trust in the capacity of our leaders that went for that meeting, and we are not disparaging them. However, our voices cannot be subjugated. And we will do this in consonance with our leaders to ensure that this time around, that oil in Ogoni is tapped for the benefit of all of us. And this is because, as you are aware, today, the whole world is talking about green energy. There's a deviation from fossil fuel, even though it's coming gradually. And so it is not when we have left fossil fuel that will start tapping the oil. That time, you may not be able to use it for anything again. And secondly, as a petroleum engineer that I am, I understand the characteristics of crude oil. It migrates through the porous rock. It doesn't remain at a spot. Who told you that the next 10 years the oil may remain in Ogoni? What if it has migrated to Ogoni? And so we do not have any time whatsoever.
All right.
We need that oil to resume now, put in consonance with us strata, so that we can have a smooth sail.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Engineer Legborsi Yamaabana is the President General of the Ogoni Youth Federation. Also, we had on the program Dighi Mathew is National President, Indigenous Youth Council of Ogoni People. Both men joined virtually from, of course, Rivers State. Once again, thank you for your time, gentlemen.